Well, welcome everyone. My name is Phyllis and I'm excited to be here today. I'm going to be your conference call host and speaker, and I just want to welcome you to our daily discussion. It is, I can't believe it, April the 12th already, and it's been beautiful, sun shining here. So I think we definitely have some spring in the air, spring in our steps. So I'm excited to be here. So today we're going to cover how to best utilize the Better platform, and I'm going to go over a lot of great information with you. And I'm also going to do some training on how to actually spot a rug pull as well. So this call can be interactive. So I want you to know that if you want to talk, or you want to be able to share anything with me, feel free to do that. I'd be happy to stop and chat a few minutes and get any questions that you might have. Now, whether you are a veteran in our community or whether you are a brand new person, I'm going to show you how to best utilize the best resource tool in the entire crypto space without a doubt, where you can actually get find your, I should say, next 2x, 5x, 10x, and beyond. However, this isn't financial advice. I can just tell you that I'm basing it on experience, and we've had some tremendous successes. So if you're brand new and you don't know what Better is, or even how to get started, or anything about what I'm going to share with you today, you can actually go to better.ai to learn, what we are doing and why we're doing it. And it'll be such an experience for you to be able to experience exactly what I see. So welcome again. I'm excited that you're here today, guys. And the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just move through my screen here because, excuse me, I want to make sure that I'm on the right slide. And I'm going to share with you a couple of announcements that we have. And first of all, I want to ask you, have you seen our Instagram page? If you haven't, start to get there, start to get some, start to follow us a little bit. Have you seen it yet? I have. All you have to do is write down that Instagram right there, and feel free to actually hit the follow button so that you can actually follow us on Instagram. So the next thing I want to share with you is, have you got your exclusive Better merchandise yet? Okay, guys, if you haven't, you absolutely need to do that, because you're going to love what you see. It's amazing. So I can't wait to get mine. I haven't got mine yet. So mine's on its way. So I'm going to actually, hopefully one of these days, I will get on the screen and I'll share with you what it looks like. But you know what? I know a lot of us are going to have this product, and we're going to be able to share our merch all over the world. So it says here that if you haven't gotten, I think it's on the first 100 orders, I believe, and I'm not sure if they've reached that yet, but you actually get a cap, a baseball cap, it looks like. So pretty exciting stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and get this started for you. Give me a second to get to where I'm going, and which is right here. So I'm going to go ahead and get this call kicked off. So one of the things that I constantly get is, how do I identify rug pulls? Well, that's a good question, because rug pulls are sometimes very difficult to actually pick out. And in fact, sometimes we can never pick them out. But I'm going to share with you just some ideas on how, I look at them and explain to you a little bit about it. Well, rug pull is primarily a specific type of DeFi scam, where you get malicious project teams that pull out their liquidity, of your tokens and disappear with the investor's money. And I could tell you guys what they do is they can actually make things look amazing. They can actually get out on social media. They can start to have a ton of followers. They can do a lot of hype. They'll have a lot of interaction out there with tens of thousands of followers. Okay, they will, and they'll actually buy followers. So you're thinking that, this is a really great program because the hype is so huge, right? Well, I can tell you a lot of times it's not what you think. So you have to be extra careful. Okay. So also there's There's also NFT scammers out there where you usually run off with your funds as soon as you mint your NFT token. So you want to also be very careful of that. And I'm going to get more into that in a little bit. So how do you identify a rug pull? Now, there's several ways to do that. Okay. There's basically low or no team credibility. That's a big red flag, seriously. And you know a lot about that because we talk about that a lot. But I can tell you right now, you want to make sure that you are following these, whoever these people are. You want to make sure that you follow them and you want to see what's going on and learn about their credibility. So you can look at their social media sites. You can actually, go to their LinkedIn pages. You can actually look them up, Google them. You can go see if they have any social media, anywhere, Facebook, Twitter, wherever, to actually find out what their engagement is. Okay, so you want to do that. A track record, do they have one? Is there any, can you find out anything about them? And guys, that's something that's extremely important to do. Again, you could do that through social media. You can do it through Telegram, but you also have to be very, very careful, because I can tell you now, if you go look at the Telegram or the Twitter followers, right? They may have tens of thousands of followers, but compare the followers to the interaction of their post received. So if they have tens of thousands of followers, but you don't really see any double-digit engagement, I can tell you that it's actually a fake. It's a fake Telegram. They have fake followers. They have botted followers, and you want to make sure that you are in tune with that. You want to make sure they have 24/7. Anytime that anybody is in Telegram who has a very good project that's coming up, they should have 24/7 project, answers to your question. It should be actually monitored 24/7. Okay, they should be keeping all the bots and the marketing scammers out, all the shillers out. Okay, they should, because that means that they have respect for their actual project itself. So you may see people asking legitimate questions, but unfortunately, those legitimate questions, what happens is those legitimate questions are being deleted before they're even answered. So you want to be really careful of that too. I can tell you now, I've been on many times where I'm asking a really interesting question and immediately my question gets deleted. That is a sign of a rug pull in the making. Look at what industries they've been in. If they've been in like fashion design and they're actually launching something of a utility that has nothing to do with their background, it's probably going to be something that you want to make sure you keep your eyeballs on. If the white paper is written in an ambiguous manner, so what does that mean? I can tell you now, sometimes I'll look at white papers and I'll even say, I have no idea what they're trying to say. It's almost confusing to the point on purpose. So you want to make sure you're able to understand it, because their white paper should be written in a manner, where you have a clear understanding of what they're actually doing. So is hype always a good thing? Now, a lot of times what happens is people will think that hype is a tremendous, great thing, right? Well, I got to tell you, hype is not always a good thing. It's not. Sometimes it is, okay, but hype is not always as good as you think, okay? They can inject substantial amounts of liquidity. I'm talking about the scammers, to boost your confidence level. Did you know that? They can actually put a ton of liquidity and make you think that there's a ton happening. But I'm going to tell you, they will, if that's happening, you'll see it. And I'm going to explain how you can look at them. The DEX, unfortunately, makes it easy to anonymously create tokens these days for absolutely nothing, without an audit. So they have an easy way, to be able to create these rug pulls, and create these tokens that you may get involved with, that there's a lot of hype around and you're feeling really good about it because everybody on social media is talking about it. So you have to be really careful. You can go to their website and you can go to Whois. That's a website. You can check their URL. How long have they had it? Was it just created the day before they actually are going to launch? Was it created a week ago, a month ago, 2 months ago, last year? You know, look, you can look at that. And again, you go to who is, and that's the website. And all you have to do is put their URL in there, and it'll give you some information that'll be very interesting for you to know. Next, liquidity. Liquidity needs to be locked. Okay, what does that mean? That means that no one should be able to take it. That means that 95% to 100%, okay, of the liquidity for their token should be locked. And how do you know it's locked? You can go right on Pink Sale, or you can go on DX Sale, and you can look and see. There's always a pie chart that you can actually look at, and it'll tell you how much of their liquidity is actually locked. Now, you know, have them provide proof of that. Seriously, you could actually ask them, you know, well, show me. You know, if they can provide proof, that's a good sign. Okay, if they can't, that may not be such a great sign. If they provide unrealistic returns on investments, I could tell you now, guys, a lot of these staking programs out there, they have an APY of 5,000. You know, if something seems to be good, too good to be true, guys, chances are that it's not good. And you can utilize your gut for that. I can tell you right now, how many times have you been involved in something and you could say to yourself, this was absolutely too good to be true. And you know what? It absolutely was too good to be true. They have a very low quality website. It looks like they took some of their pictures right off of, you know, Google Images. Okay, their website looks, it's not clear, it's not crisp. They're also big signs of a possible rug pull in the making. There's also funds that are concentrated with just a handful of holders. And I'm going to actually take you to some of the BSC scans so you can see what I mean. So if you see holders, you know, that have a concentrated amount of the tokens, that's pretty scary. If you see a large amount of tokens in a few wallets, chances are they're the team wallets disguised as regular holders. You know, this will allow them to be easily manipulated, and that's going to actually affect the price in a very, very big way. I'm going to take you to the BSC scan so you can actually see some of this. So if the developers don't need to completely drain a pool of funds to perform a successful rug pull, guys. So I know I said that a rug pull is they drain the liquidity. Well, that's very true, but also they can actually drain the liquidity pool over time. And that could still be deemed as a successful, you know, a very successful rug pull. And I'll share with you what that looks like. So if a couple of hands control like 60% of the total supply, that means they can easily sell them in one sitting, and they can crash the token price right in front of your eyes. So how do you avoid that? You check the blockchain, the Ether scan or the BSC scan to find the token distribution. And as a rule of thumb, a non-team member wallet should not hold more than 5% of the total supply unless they are locked, okay? So it's real important that you understand that. And again, we're going to go to that in just a minute. These are some new ones that I came across that I didn't even know existed. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about them. I am not as savvy on this as I am on regular rug pulls because I haven't been involved, you know, in anything like, I've never really even got involved in an NFT. So I'm not really that familiar with it, but I want to share it with you because I learned it today when I was actually looking at some things on YouTube. And that's when the NFT project, what they call stealth mints. And that means that when an NFT project, you know, flies under the radar, under the mint is launched, until the mint is launched. So what they do is they actually they don't really do any FOMOing until the actual NFT gets minted, and which makes so much easier for them to create FOMO in a short period of time, right? Because everybody now is rushing to actually have their project, you know, their actual NFT minted. You know, while it has some advantages, there's many malicious devs out there that will do some really crazy things. And basically, let me read to you what a good NFT would do. I read this today. An established NFT projects such as CryptoPunks and Bored Ape Yacht Club see constant development. You see constant development happening in their projects all the time. For instance, they say here that the Bored Ape Yacht Club, they collaborated with Adidas in December to run the footwear. Now, of course, that was all over the news, right? You can actually check this out. That was something that they were very serious about. So experts, probably looking at that, said, what? These guys are truly what they say they are. So you want to make sure that you know who you're dealing with. Next is the contract, which I'm going to share with you in a minute. So what about the contract? Now, you're probably thinking, I'm not a developer. I have no idea what to look for if I'm looking at a contract. What do I look for? Well, I'm going to share with you. First of all, I'm going to share with you how you can actually look for what they call a green check mark, okay? And that means that the BSC developer has added a readable version of the exact match of the exact code. Okay, that means that what you see on the BSC is the actual code that was deployed. Okay, projects that have a non-readable code is a huge red flag. So I'm going to share you what I mean by that in a minute. Okay, the next thing is the mint function, which we just talked about a little bit for NFTs, but essentially what a mint function is, it allows the contract owner to create more tokens out of thin air. And that's not good, okay? There are some projects where that is legitimate and minting may be necessary, but if the token is supposed to have a maximum supply, and you hear that term a lot, then having a mint function is a very, very huge red flag. Think about it, okay? If they're saying my max supply is this, okay, and that's all we're going to be actually producing, but yet they have a minting function that allows them to produce more tokens. Is that a red flag? You better believe it is. It's in fact, a red flag. What else? Contract ownership is another way, that investors are not suspecting that there's a scam going on, okay? So when the contract is owned, its creator can have access to many functions. And I talked about one of them already, the mint function. Also, they can have functions to remove liquidity whenever they feel like it. That's something that needs to be looked at, right? They can transfer coins between wallets. That's definitely something that needs to be looked at. And minting new tokens, which I just spoke to you about, which can make the volume of your investment actually worthless. So you need to also ask those questions, even if you're in their Telegram group. But I'm going to share with you how you can actually see some of that too. Now, I heard a lot of times renounced ownership. And what that means is that the creator of the coin's contract may no longer access these functions. And most developers take that step immediately after it launches. Okay, that means that they go in there and they do something in their contract, okay, where they renounce their ownership and therefore they can't touch that contract. Now, there are instances where the token creator needs to hold ownership, but this still, honestly, for me, shares a very, very, very red flag. So I'm just going to actually get out of the screen because I want to actually go to a couple projects and kind of show you what it looks like. Okay, now I have, let me go right here and let's go to this one. Okay, this here is a rug pull. Now, this is a classic rug pull, okay? The project actually launches, it goes crazy, and then all of a sudden, what happens? It just comes down and crashes, okay? Now, this was on December 29th. Now, this, if you look at it, it looks like there's been, it's like a slow rug, right? Because there's still, some liquidity. Okay, so it looks like, people may be stupid enough, honestly, to go in here and buy their tokens, but go look at the chart. and you can see that it was a classic rug pull. Let me take you to another one. Let's look at Earth Hub. Whoops. Now Earth Hub, if we look at this one looked great, right? If you look at the chart, they have all these ups and downs and everything else. But if you look over where it says unlocked wallet is holding 46%, okay? We basically talked about that a little bit ago, right? How that shouldn't be. And take a look at this. Now all of a sudden it starts to crap out, right? It starts to get like this. Now, guys, this is a slow rug. Okay, that means that they were just holding on, people were buying, and then all of a sudden they just pull the rug out from underneath you, and people probably were still buying here, and then they pulled out the rest. Okay, very, very common. Let's look at another one. This is also a classic rug pull, right? Okay, the project launches and then it crashes. It launches on the 4th and just crashes. And I want to show you something too. I think this is the one. You can see, well, maybe not. Let's see the buyers. So you have buyers, right? Buying, buying, buying. And then the sellers just start to take it away. Okay. And this here is another look at a classic rug pull. So I hope that you got some value out of that, because I wanted to share with you about rug pulls, because a lot of times people are always asking me questions about it. Like, how do I see that? How do I understand it? Explain to me, what I'm actually looking for. What am I looking at? Now I want to go to the contract here, because I shared with you, I want to show you something. If you're going to the contract, and you can do it right from here, contract, you click on it. All right. And I'm right here. Now, remember I told you that, one of the things, this green check mark, well, this had it, right? But it was still a rug. But again, this check mark, what it does, it actually, now it's supposed to, kind of give you a good clue that there's a readable version of the exact code. Now, in this case, maybe it was at one time, but it looks like it wasn't, after that. So it looks like that may have been, an issue. So let's go on and let's move on to some other things that I spoke about. I also talked about minting functions. Now you can see that by going through the contract. And if you see something here that says minting, then they have a minting function, and that's not a good sign. Okay, so that's another thing that you can look at, in regards to a minting function. So I'm not going to get into all the contract stuff because I am not a developer, but I did want to give you some feedback on, some of the things that I know about actual, rug pulls and how you can identify them. So let's go ahead and let's jump into the dApp. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to actually share some information about some projects. Just give me a minute. I'm just going to actually make this screen larger so you can see it. Okay. So first thing what I'm going to do is I want to take a look at a couple projects that I looked at earlier today that I want to actually kind of take a spot check with you. I was looking at pre-sales. So as you know, if you've been here a while, you can actually filter this by pre-sales. So I want to look at pre-sales. So I'm going to click here and click pre-sale. So now I'm going here and I'm going to look at something. Now I know something is launching soon, and I read a little bit about it. It's called Alteration. It's right here. That was scouted by a really good scout and a really good vetter. Okay. And I want to kind of, understand a little bit about what it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at it. And what Kevin said here is the team is solid. Well, they've already delivered on NFTs. Well, that's a pretty good sign, don't you think? I'm excited about that. So let's take a look at that because it's actually not launching until the end of the month. Okay, so let's look. Right now, the Telegram group, he said, was 5,300. Now, Kevin also was the vetter, okay, and he's basically kind of, he's been updating this as he goes because there's always an update when you're actually following a project. So when you're a vetter, you know, you don't just post it and run, or a scout. You have to actually post it, and then you have to go back and you need to take a look at what's going on, you know, with those projects. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. So one of the first things that I like to do, of course, you should definitely read through, you know, what he says, the vetter says. And it says that the Telegram group has X amount of members. Telegram group started in September. Well, that's pretty ways back, right? Chat has been good engagement, and the admins are responsive and helpful. The members count seems to be organic and not botted. Well, we're going to take a look at this because why did they wait so long, you know, to actually launch, you know, or did they try to launch and maybe it didn't go so well? But we may be able to find that out within the Telegram group itself. So the team notes, he's got team people right here. It tells you who they are. Partially owned by a well-known publicly traded company. House EM. E-Man is the Czech Republic. It's in Czech Republic. It's a legend in their country. So and the team tokens will be locked for 3 years. That's actually pretty good, guys. That's really good, actually. It's unusual. They usually don't lock that long. So there may be some other caveats here too. Just because it's locked for 3 years doesn't mean it's totally locked for 3 years, and that we can actually look into that and see, you know, whether it's do they take X amount of percentage in a year? Do they take an X amount of percentage in 6 months? You know, we can actually see that probably on their website, on their maybe even in their white paper, and definitely we can probably find that or ask the question in their Telegram group. They've had an AMA, you know, which was a good thing. They had an AMA with Burning Moon. So you can actually go here and listen to their AMA. And the positives that he says is that the game looks really good. The NFT collaboration with a project like Burning Moon is a definite positive. Now, those of you who don't know who Burning Moon is, hey, sorry guys, 1 minute. Sorry about that. I took a sip of water and choked. So at any rate, Burning Moon is actually a great devs to follow. Their developers are called Dev Team 6, and they've actually produced a lot of great things. So that's why that this vetter is referring to Burning Moon at this point. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at the Telegram group. Now, the Telegram group has over 4,200. Now, let me take a look at that first, though, because I think did it have a lot more than that before? Let's see. At 53. So it actually decreased. You know, that could be because maybe the launch was taking so long for it to happen. And that's not unusual. Let's see if there's anything that's going on within the community. So are they still having successes in here? Let's see. Looks like they're still posting. They posted today. Let's see if we can get any updates on whether or not they are actually still launching. I think they are. Let's see. Looks like they still have activity. I'd like to find out if the launch date has changed. Has the launch date been fixed yet? No, not yet. So therefore, that could be a really good reason why this actually has been losing some Telegram. Unfortunately, it looked like a really good project, but now I'm starting to question because of obvious reasons. Because it looks like they've been trying to launch in September, which I looked at in the very beginning when we actually looked at this project on the calendar. So I think we're going to have to wait and see what other feedback we get as we move forward. Okay, so let me look at another project. Another project that I was actually looking at was called World Transfer. So I'm going to go ahead and go to that. And I'm going to go ahead and put World Transfer in here. World Transfer. Here we go. This was actually scouted by a gentleman called MetalRide. He's actually scouted some really great projects. Even though MetalRide actually is a base scout, but he's actually scouted quite a few good ones in the last, probably 30, 45 days. So let's take a look at this, what he says about this. He said the utility is not very common, and it's not. Utilities are not really that common in the crypto space. A lot of times the common ones are like meme tokens and NFTs. But however, Vetter is actually, we're a utility, right? You come here, you learn, you go to the site, you pick out what you want to look at. Everything is vetted for you, everything's scouted for you, and you can go ahead and pick and choose what it is that you want to get into today, right? So we're a utility that's, a great utility. However, a lot of times there's not a lot of them. So what they said here is that it's an open source global credit network that connects lenders and borrowers. So I think we may have looked at this project the other day. I happen to like this project a lot. I want to actually stay on top of this, and I suggest that you don't actually get involved in this until you actually do your due diligence. But it's a project that I like, and I've been watching it. So hopefully, like I said, we'll continue to watch this project. But this is one that actually I think we went over the other day. So let me just back out and bring up another project that I've been looking at, and that's called Bullstarter. And guys, how I'm finding this is pretty simple, right? Let me just take you to it so you see. This is our calendar, and this is everything that's on the calendar. And you can actually go to any of the networks to pick out whatever network you like to actually peek at. And you can actually look at any launch pad that you would like to go to where the project is actually launching from. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to actually see what is happening in the pre-sales. So what I did is I looked at it, and I wanted to I actually was able to look at Bullstarter, and how I was able to do that. Give me one sec. All right, let me just refresh here. Bullstarter. There, there we go. It's right here. Now, Bullstarter looks like a pretty interesting project as well. It says that it aims to be the most informative platform for the crypto newbie. Interesting. So that might be something that you might want to take a gander at. Let's go to their website and take a look at let's take a look at the Telegram group and see what they're doing in here. All right. Well, looks like there's activity. And that was one of the things that we like to look at, right? Is the activity in the Telegram group, is that happening? Or do we see a lot of botted information? Well, right now, what we're seeing is we're seeing some communication, not a ton of communication, but we're seeing some communication. So this looks like they're just touting their horn because they want to get to 4,000 members. They're at 3,577, which isn't a bad number. But it looks like there's not a ton of back and forth communication between the group and with them. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad project, guys, at all. It just means that, you know, we need to keep on looking to make sure that it's something that we actually want to actually focus in on. So I'm going to actually just click on their pin messages. It looks like they have 100 pin messages, so they've been communicating at least to them, you know, to the community, which has been great. Okay, and so it looks like they've done some communication here. It looks like their Telegram. Let's see, I'm going all the way back to February, so it's been here since February. And actually maybe even longer than that. No, just since February. So that's a good sign. That means that they've been actually sharing communication and then building their community for the last couple months. So they're probably, and again, I don't know this for a fact, but it's probably legitimate. So let's actually go and take a look at what their website looks like and see if the website looks like something that we would feel comfortable paying attention to. All right, so I'm going to go right here because the website's right here. It's simple for me to actually click on it and go to Bullstarter. So what we look for is, does it look like it's kind of like a child made this? It doesn't. You know, it even has on the bottom, if you can see that, it even has on the bottom what's going on with the markets, right? So this looks like a pretty well done website, for my opinion. Okay, doesn't look like they copied some Google images from Google Image, and it looks like they put some thought into it. So let's take a look and see. Let's scroll down. Yeah, they have like, you know, their little signal here for the bull. They actually have they have their tokenomics sitting right here on the front page. There is a vesting schedule. There was a vesting schedule for this, so that's something that you want to make sure that you're aware of. So if you were able to lucky enough to get into the seed phrase or the angel phase, then you're probably sitting at a really good time. However, you know, there are some locks here. That means that they actually, you know, at these levels, there are some they're going to be releasing tokens, you know, over time. But there's definitely some, you know, lock staking, locked central on the exchange. There's team locked. And these, well, actually, they said it was 100%. I thought they said it was so it's not 100%. This is what I was talking about. It's a 40%, and then there's an unlock schedule. Let's take a look at what else they have here. They have some characters of, and they also have a demo. That's pretty cool. They have a demo of what they're doing. Well, that makes me know that at least they're in process, right? Let's take a look at, let's see what enthusiast is. They're giving you some snapshots of what their, I guess what their dApp is going to look like. I'm not really sure, you know, what it all means. They really don't come into any kind of description here. And then let's look at the white paper. White paper looks, you know, pretty normal so far. talk about why Bullstarter and, why their vision is because there's too many scammers out there and they want to protect the community. This is going to be utility staking. So they're going to have a staking. You're going to be able to earn passive income collecting BUSD. There's going to be staking rewards. So it looks like they have, the question I have is, can they, this is the kind of stuff that I look at and like to talk to the team about, because sometimes this kind of stuff's not sustainable, not saying it's not, but sometimes it's not sustainable. They can't continue to pay out that type of APY. So again, the white paper looks pretty basic. Not a whole lot about marketing, just basically that they're always striving to ensure that their marketing is there. They're going to have a social filtering dApp, so that you're going to be able to do kind of some sort of a social media or some kind of a communication there. Let's see what they're advertising here. Their map doesn't really say much about what they're going to do for advertising. As you know, with us, with Vetter, we've been advertising and showing you what we're doing. Here's the roadmap, and I was looking to see, like right now, the roadmap is, I would assume that doesn't even tell you where they're at, I don't think, because usually it'll be, unless they're saying that the roadmap here, let's see, phase the rewards, develop the SEER. Does it say here when they're going to launch token fair launch and first phase? So that looks like they have some building out to do of some of their dApps. So I'm not sure if they're going to be able to pull it off, but you never know, right? So we'll have to keep an eye on this one, but it is intriguing. So it's something that I think we should just kind of peek back at a later date. Is there anything that you want me to look at while I'm here, guys? Be happy to do that for you. If you would like me to look at a project for you, let me know. All right. Well, let's see. Let's go back here. And I am going to wrap up because we do have another call in like 10 minutes. And I know yesterday we ran a little over in our call, and we wanted to make sure that we try to be as cognizant of that as possible. So I want to make sure that I'm able to do that. So it was a pleasure being here today, guys. It's been an honor and a privilege, as always, to be able to bring information to each and every one of you. And I hope that you got something out of the rug pull section, because I can tell you this, I've done a lot of research on rug pulls, and it's helped me a great deal throughout my crypto life. I've been in the crypto space for quite some time, and I've actually scouted many projects that did exceptionally well within the Tribe Discord community. So I've had my share of rug pulls, and I'm glad I did, because I'm able to actually teach it and pay it forward to everyone else, so that you have an understanding about what to look for there. So guys, I'm gonna head out. Thank you for being here. It's been a great pleasure to be your conference call host and speaker. And just want to say good night. Have a good night, everyone, and a better tomorrow. Take care.